What's up, Narco Gang? How y'all been? Y'all enjoying y'all new year so far? You know what I'm saying? It's moving fast. It's already the ninth, the 10th almost. What is it? Ninth? I think it's the ninth. Yeah, it's the ninth. Man, look, shit moving fast as hell. We already we already lost some people. You know, R.P. Bob Saget, or you know what I'm saying? How you say his name? Bob Saget from Full House. You know, Danny from Full House. R.I.P. He was a good guy. I watched that show a lot when I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? I still watch it. I don't give a fuck. Look, I watch that show every once in a while. They even got a new show called Fuller House out. You know what I'm saying? And that shit, I don't know. I don't really fuck with it, but I still fuck with Full House, bro. I get bored sometimes and cut on TV. You know, we getting Full House type shit. So, but yeah, so we lost that man this year, bro. R.I.P. We lost D Band. Was it D Bands? Yeah, D Bands. We lost a few people this year already, man. R.I.P. to those guys, man. Condolences to their families. You know what I'm saying? Hope everybody do good, man. And yeah, man, it's bad. It's bad. But right now we got a little bit of air to breathe. We got a little bit of airways, some relief. You know what I'm saying? We got Ahmaud Arbery. If you're not familiar with Ahmaud Arbery and his situation, a few years ago, or a couple, well, however many years ago, about four, I guess, years ago or three, he was, I would say, hunted down. He was hunted down by a group of insurgents, insurgents, or whatever you want to call it, insurgents, and he was killed. They killed the man, bro. They killed him while he was jogging. He was on the daily jog, and they said that they thought he was a black guy that's been burglaring their properties and stuff like that. Mind you, these were white guys that said this, and they had pistols, they had rifles and shit on them. So as he was riding, they was recording him, they was following him, they caught him, and then they ended up killing him. So it's been a long time coming. They've been in and out of court. You know how it go. They go to court, they get out of court. You know what I'm saying? They don't really go to jail. So we finna see how this sentencing go. This is the final sentencing for the final sentence for the Ahmaud Arbery killer. So let's get into it. And before we get into it though, we already know Narco Gang. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let's run it up. You already know what it is, man. We trying to get 200 subscribers by the end of the month. Let's see how fast we can get there, gang. And with all, hold on. And with no further ado, let's get into this video. Well, this video is only one video, gang. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. Let's get it. I always do that.
That said, with regard to the sentence in this case, as to Travis McMichael, Mr. McMichael, the court sentences you as follows. Count 1, malice murder, life without the possibility of parole. Count 2, felony murder, is vacated by operation of law. Count 3, felony murder, vacated by operation of law. Count 4, felony murder, vacated by operation of law. Count 5, felony murder, vacated by operation of law. Count 6, aggravated assault, merges into count 1.
Bro, this nigga got
Count 7, aggravated assault.
murder.
The court sentences the defendant
Bro, these niggas going to jail. These niggas going to jail. God damn. God damn.
to 20 years consecutive to count 1. Count 8, false imprisonment, merges into count 1. Count 9, attempted false imprisonment, 5 years concurrent to count 7. That is life plus 20.
Damn, boy got an L plus
the
a
court
dub.
sentences you as follows.
That boy got an L plus a dub. Life plus 20, nigga. I only got life. I don't got no 20. What the fuck you mean? What the fuck you talking about? Life plus 20. Boy, you ain't never getting out.
Follows. Count 1.
Excited, boy.
Malice murder.
Yeah, clap it
Defendant was
up.
found not guilty. Count 2.
Hold
felony
up.
murder.
Hold up.
Life without the possibility.
Hold up. I need to smoke this. We finna go back, y'all. Hold on. Did he just say not guilty on something? Hold on, what did he say not guilty on?
Follows. Count 1, malice murder. Defendant was found not guilty.
Nigga,
Count 2, felony murder.
what? Malice murder? How is that not malice murder? That's crazy, bro. I don't give a damn. An L and a dub is not enough.
Life without the possibility of parole. Count 3, felony murder. Vacated. When I say vacated, it's vacated by operation of law in all cases. I'm not going to repeat it. Count 4, vacated. Count 5, vacated. Count 6 merges into count 2. Count 7, aggravated assault, 20 years.
For all y'all that don't know the law, the reason why he's saying vacated is because some of the laws they conflict with each other. So if you have multiple counts like of charges on you, and the prosecutor is trying to get the most time that they possibly can, they're gonna drop some charges because if you make all charges stick, then you're gonna get less time than what they're trying to give you possibly. So in order to give you the most time, they drop a lot of charges and let the most serious ones stick, and that's what you're seeing in this case. And then they also having charges merged together. So yeah, this is crazy.
Years consecutive to count 2. Count 8, 10 years concurrent to count 7. Count 9, 5 years concurrent to count 7. That is life plus 20 years. Roddy Bryan, I do want to separate a little bit because the state is making a different recommendation. And despite the back and forth that Mr. Goff and I had during this case, I do want to point out a couple things that he raised that I think are appropriate to raise with regard to the sentence. As far as the remorse, I think Roddy Bryan stands in very different shoes. It is obvious from the beginning that he questioned the tragedy that had occurred at the scene and was on, I believe, I can't remember whose body cam, but the body cam, in fact, questioning whether or not what had occurred, and then took steps early on in this process, I think, that demonstrated that he had grave concerns that what had occurred should not have occurred. And I think that does make Mr. Bryan's situation a little bit different. However, Mr. Bryan has been convicted of felony murder. And I do not believe it can be disputed based on the facts of this case that the verdict was an appropriate verdict based upon the evidence presented, at least. And when I say appropriate, what I mean is legal. Because I believe there's been some discussion about some differences between Mr. Bryan and the McMichaels. There may be some differences, but it does not change the fact that was it not for the fact that Mr. Bryan used his vehicle in a way to impede Mr. Arbery's course of travel, this may not have ever occurred.
Impede every damn thing.
Sufficient for felony murder. He did cooperate with law enforcement. I will point out Mr. Goff 1710-1B. There's actually a case out of Chatham County that says it would not apply under the circumstances of this case. So the court recognizing that Mr. Bryan's position is different. Again, Mr. Bryan was found not guilty on count 1 and count 2. The court sentences Mr. Bryan to life with the possibility of parole on count 3. Count 4 is vacated. Count 5 is vacated. Count 6, the defendant was found not guilty. Count 7 merges into count 3. The defendant is sentenced to 10 years consecutive to count 3 on count 8 and 5 years concurrent with count 8. Both of those counts, though, will be suspended sentences, which gives Mr. Bryan a life with the possibility of parole sentence. Those are the sentences.
That possibility of parole is that bullshit. He should have had no possibility of parole. That's my belief, personally. Shit.
The court having pronounced sentence, first with regard to Travis McMichael. Mr. McMichael, you are hereby notified that under the law of Georgia, you are entitled to appeal the guilty verdict of the jury, and if you decide to do so, you must file your appeal within 30 days of this date. You are also informed that you have the right to retain a lawyer of your own choice to represent you on your post-trial motions and appeals to the appropriate appellate court of Georgia. If you cannot afford a lawyer, the court will appoint one for you. You are entitled to and will be given a transcript of all pretrial, trial, and post-trial matters without cost to you if you cannot afford a transcript. You may file a motion for a new trial, or you may appeal your case directly to the appropriate appellate court of Georgia for review. You are also advised that the statute of limitations for habeas corpus in this state is 4 years in the case of felonies and 1 year in the case of misdemeanors. The statute begins to run from the date the conviction becomes final. And just to be clear on the record, I'm going to go through the statement with regard to each defendant. So as to Gregory McMichael, you are hereby notified that under the law of Georgia, you are entitled to appeal the guilty verdict of the jury, and if you decide to do so, you must file your appeal within 30 days of this date. You are also informed that you have the right to retain a lawyer of your own choice to represent you on your post-trial motions and appeals to the appropriate appellate court of Georgia. If you cannot afford a lawyer, the court will appoint one for you. You are entitled to and will be given a transcript of all pretrial, trial, and post-trial matters without cost to you if you cannot afford a transcript. You may file a motion for a new trial, or you may appeal your case directly to the appropriate appellate court of Georgia. You are also advised that the statute of limitations for habeas corpus in this state is 4 years in the case of felonies and 1 year in the case of misdemeanors. The statute begins to run from the date the conviction becomes final. And then finally, Mr. Bryan, you are hereby notified that under the law of Georgia, you are entitled to appeal the guilty verdict of the jury, and if you decide to do so, you must file your appeal within 30 days of this date. You are also informed that you have the right to retain a lawyer of your own choice to represent you on your post-trial motions and appeals to the appropriate appellate court of Georgia. If you cannot afford a lawyer, the court will appoint one for you. You are entitled to and will be given a transcript of all pretrial, trial, and post-trial matters without cost to you if you cannot afford a transcript. You may file a motion for a new trial, or you may appeal your case directly to the appropriate appellate court of Georgia for review. You are also advised that the statute of limitations for habeas corpus in this state is 4 years in the case of felonies and 1 year in the case of misdemeanors. The statute begins to run from the date the conviction becomes final.
Do you want to grow your YouTube?
Oh, these niggas, these goddamn ass, bro. No, I don't want to grow my YouTube. Well, I do want to grow my YouTube, but not with you, nigga. Anyway, what's up, gang? Anyways, that nigga threw me off a little bit, I ain't gonna lie. But if y'all seen that Ahmaud Arbery story, man, if y'all seen that video, y'all see that them people hunted that man down, bro. Them people, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna go ahead and get this nigga off my screen. They hunted that man down and they killed that man, bro. That wasn't no accident, that wasn't no nothing. They hunted that man down and they killed that man. And prayers to that family, bro. I'm glad they got some justice, you know what I'm saying, but it was that life with the possibility of parole for me. It's more to me. It feel like they gonna go to jail for a little bit until this shit died down, till people forget about it, and that parole gonna hit in, and they gonna parole. That's what we need to pay attention to if they gonna parole out the first parole, cause you know niggas don't get parole the first parole. So we gonna see if they hit their parole, the first parole, which is gonna be like 20 years probably. You know what I'm saying? They probably do 20 years total, 25 years total for what they did. 25 years, niggas ain't gonna worry about that shit. That's how niggas operate, bro. That's how niggas operate. But yeah, man. So shit, tune in to your boy. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Narco Gang, we growing. We at 122 subscribers. So y'all feeling me. Y'all loving me, and I'm loving y'all back. Narco Gang, we finna take over 2022, and we finna show them that we the best. We the best chat, the best gang, YouTube gang out here. You hear me? We the best YouTube gang out here, and we finna show them what's up. What's up? Let's get it. So Narco Gang, we out.